Good evening. Anyways, this is Steve33 here back with a brand new video. Week 3 of the NCAA college football is wrapped up. Here's a Sunday evening at 8:54 p.m. the time of this recording. I am back in town from my visit to Austin, Texas, in which I witnessed in person the Texas Longhorn game against UTEP, which we'll be discussing in detail later. But let's go ahead and kick it off and go game by game, the top 25, and see what we got rocking and rolling. First game on Friday, Indiana versus Indiana State. And no shock, it is a blowout, 73 to nothing. Nothing much going there. Oh, funny tidbit right here. UCLA, as you all know, Nico, even how the hell you say his name. He was playing Tennessee last year and wanted more money from Tennessee, NIL money, and they said no. And so instead, he took even less money to then transfer to UCLA. UCLA's quarterback transferred to Tennessee. And UCLA is now 0-3, and their head coach, just got fired. So, dude pretty much ruined his career because he wanted more money. Anyways, game 2, Ohio State, number 1 team in the nation, playing against Ohio, 37 to 9. A little bit closer than you might expect, but it's okay. Villanova, a FCS team, playing Penn State, number 2 in the nation. A blowout, 52 to 6. Florida versus LSU. Now, this game is a bit closer. Both teams struggling on offense, especially DJ Lagway, the quarterback for Florida, destined to be the next Tim Tebow, bringing them back to greatness. He had 5 interceptions. That's right, 5 interceptions in one game, including a pick 6. Negate that, and it's 13 to 10. LSU obviously struggled massively offensively, but had a great game defensively. And DJ Lagway had 5 receptions, which I don't even know if it's ever even happened from my memory in college. I'm sure it's happened, but it probably not very often has one quarterback thrown 5 receptions. So Florida, having probably one of the hardest schedules in the entire nation, falls to 1-3, and they are in big trouble. Oregon, number 4 in the nation, rising up. They originally ranked number 8, playing Northwestern, no shock, 34 to 14. South Florida, this is number 5 in Miami. South Florida, as we all know, had big 2 top 25 upsets. The only team in the nation to have 2 top 25 wins. Now that Florida win is not looking so good anymore, but they are playing number 5 Miami. People were thinking this might be upset city. South Florida might be 3-0 and have 2 top 15 wins and might break into the top 10. And that was not the case. Their star quarterback picked the wrong game to not play so well, and Miami blows them out 49 to 12. Carson Beck had 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He is playing pretty well to start the season, and Miami is looking better than ever. Well, not really, but Carson Beck is starting to turn heads here. We'll see how he continues the rest of the season. Honestly, in my opinion, very weak SEC. Miami very well could go undefeated if you look at their schedule. We won't do that because we don't really care, but Miami looking like a for sure playoff team right now. Big game of the week. Number 6, Georgia versus number 15, Tennessee. Now, Tennessee had an 8-point lead late, but they let Georgia come back, including a 2-point conversion. However, Tennessee still had some time left on the clock. They got about a 43-yard field goal kick from their kicker. Apparently, it was his very first ever game-winning attempt on a field goal, 43 yards. Not only did he miss it, but he pretty much shanked it. You could tell by his reaction that it was a horrible kick. And then we go into overtime. Tennessee goes first, gets a field goal. Georgia pounds it in for a touchdown. Georgia upsets Tennessee. Tennessee fails to upset Georgia at home, and the streak continues. I think since 2018, 2017, they have lost to Georgia every year. So more heartbreak for Tennessee. They just continue to not be able to push past that hump of winning the SEC, and this might be just another year. I mean, Aguilar is a great quarterback. I think he is better than their quarterback last year, but just still more heartbreak, and they just cannot finish these close games. That's okay. This is a game we're talking about in detail. Texas versus UTEP, as we all. Arch Manning having some questions about his style of play. He has not played very well. They were originally ranked number 1 in the nation, which I think it's a bit silly. Arch Manning, number 1 in the Heisman voting, also a bit silly. But probably never seen so much hype around one player having not played really yet. I mean, he had some starting games last year when Quinn Ewers got hurt, but very limited success or very limited experience, and still already number 1 for a guy that was playing 3A high school ball. I was again in attendance for this game. This probably was the most. I've been to games where Texas has lost back when they were booty cheeks, and outside of those games where they got blown up by like RG3 at Baylor and such, this probably was the most boring game I've ever been to. It was a snooze fest, and the defense obviously for Texas is great. I mean, they're playing UTEP, so it's not too hard to keep them at bay. I mean, they did give 200 yards to Malachi Nelson, which I think is a bit much. But I mean, they were on the field a lot because the defense. Because actually, I think at one point, Texas was like 0 of 8 third downs, but they finally got one. From what I saw, Texas did not even attempt a pass past 20 or 30 yards the entire game. And if you have a quarterback who's supposed to be as good as Arch Manning, and you have a wide receiver core that's as fast and as skilled as we do, the fact that you didn't throw it a deep ball once can only mean one thing: that Arch Manning is hurt. His throwing arm is hurt, and therefore Sark is holding him back on a very tight leash and letting him do certain throws. He's also very inaccurate. Is not throwing it as quick as he should be. Also, the offensive line was atrocious. UTEP was getting a better pass block than we were, which is shocking. Let's go ahead and go to his actual stats here. Let's check this out. Arch Manning, 11 of 25. That's under 50% for only 114 yards. I think at the half he had maybe 30. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had 51 rushing yards. I mean, look at all these rushing yards. 67, 64. TJ Baxter, I didn't even notice this. I was at the game, but apparently on the very first play he gets hurt and he comes out. Like, they didn't even announce that he was injured. I found it later in the game. And we got 2 interceptions, which were pretty big. I mean, Arch Manning still looked good on the run. But it just, for me as a Texas fan, like, if we don't figure this out first, either Arch Manning is hurt and he needs to go sit, bring the back up, or Sark needs to open the playbook and let him actually rip it like he said he was going to. But I think he's hurt, and I think Texas does have one of the best defenses in the nation. But if we can't even get a drive together against UTEP, that defense is going to be out there way too much. And when we play teams like Oklahoma and Georgia, they are going to beat the shit out of us. Pardon my language. But it's going to get bad for Texas if they don't figure it out soon. Like, the team that I saw today would barely be bowl eligible, and the SEC is giving how tough it is. That's the hardcore truth. So they need to figure it out. I hope they do. Coming in another big-time game, A&M versus Notre Dame. That was on last year. Notre Dame visited A&M this year. A&M visits Notre Dame. Notre Dame is now 0-2, having played both Miami and Texas A&M. This was a back-and-forth game. Really, really great, beautiful game, actually. Notre Dame takes a lead late, a touchdown lead, and they're going for the extra point. The quarterback muffs the hike. So then he picks it up. He's got to try and throw it for 2. Misses it. So, like, he literally just catch the ball, hold it for the kicker, and mess that up. Which allowed Texas A&M to then go down the field on a 4th and goal, mind you. One-on-one coverage, tight end, big old white dude kind of bullies his defender and catches it. And then, of course, M easily gets the extra point, and they win late in the 4th this time. I don't know if time. Time did not expire. It still had like 13 seconds left, but you're not scoring in 13 seconds. But a heartbreaking gut-breaking loss for Notre Dame, which could have been avoided. I mean, there still would have been overtime for sure. And who knows what will happen in overtime. Marcus Reed had a fantastic game. He is definitely giving eyes like he's a great quarterback coming into form in this game and this year. and Notre Dame has fallen to 0-2, and this is really bad for their chances of making the college football playoff. I mean, the two teams they played, they're actually decent, Miami and Texas A&M. Probably one of the very few top 25 teams they'll play all year, and they've lost both. So again, they'll probably have a great record, probably well above 500, but if they don't have quality wins, then they should not go be in the playoffs. So they are in big trouble. Very big, very, very big trouble. Let's keep going on. Illinois versus Western Michigan, no shock here as they blew out 38-0. This is the big one of the game. New Orleans, South Carolina gets blown out by Vandy of all teams. Vandy is on the rise here. There's one no Vandy upset Alabama last year, 1 week after Alabama upset Georgia. Lenore Sellers, I'm not too sure when he came out of the game, but he did come out of the game. Let's go ahead and go to the box score. Lenore Sellers only made 7 pass attempts. So that means he probably came out of the game early. Again, he only had -3 yards, and he is a very mobile quarterback. So I think he came out of the game very, very early, which caused the backup to play probably most of the game. And it became a blowout. Because I guess their backup just kind of sucks, or maybe wasn't prepared to lead his team. And Vandy put teams on. They will definitely be ranked next week. Vandy putting the. Honestly, if North Silver's in the game, I think South Carolina wins this game. Maybe it's a close game, but they took advantage. So we'll see how bad the injury is for the Lower Sellers, because that will definitely ruin South Carolina's year if he's out. Another big upset here: Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Clemson now has lost 2 games in a row here. Georgia Tech pulls off the last-second field goal as time expires. I personally picked this prediction. I predicted this upset, and I'm glad to see it happen. I'm not a Clemson fan at all. I am a big Georgia Tech fan. I'm not a Georgia Tech fan, but I just like the way they play. Their quarterback plays tough. Lets his game speak for himself, and so I like to watch them be successful. Oklahoma versus Temple, again, no-name team. They win 42-3. They're looking dangerous. They might be competitive in the SEC this year because they got a really tough defense. They'll smack you around, and they finally got a good quarterback. Apparently, he ran for 51 yards. It's pretty cool. Iowa State versus Arkansas State, a lot closer than they expected. Only 24-16 here. Arkansas State put up a great fight against a top 15 team, but could not get it done. Iowa State, this is definitely a wake-up call. That if Arkansas State can keep up with them, they need to shaping up before a Big 12 play comes into play. Another great game right here, Arkansas and Ole Miss. Arkansas just not enough late. This was a firepower. Look in the second quarter, both teams. That's 45 points between both teams. That's really impressive. Both teams were slinging it. Chambliss, I'll ever say his last name, 353 yards. I saw so many breakdowns defensively. Like, Arkansas has a great offense, but their defense is utter garbage poo-poo. This dude was just slinging it wherever he wanted. It was a very high-powered offensive game, and SEC, which normally is known for its defensive teams, but maybe not anymore. Anyways, yeah. Wisconsin and Alabama. 38-14. This game was a beatdown, not going to lie. It's a big game for Alabama, coming back after a loss. Utah and Wyoming, another blowout, no shock here, 31-6. Oregon State is 0-3, might be one of the worst teams in the nation. They are really bad. They get blown out 45-14 versus Texas Tech, who's looking very, very strong and might definitely be a top contender for the Big 12 this year. Now, being a Texas fan, people are like, oh, I hate Texas Tech. Well, I mean, we're not in the same conference anymore. We won't be playing each other, so why not root for a fellow Texas team to do well? That's what I think. Michigan versus Central Michigan, no shock here, 63-3. After that loss, it's good to get back in the game. Go off versus Oklahoma. Brethren had 235 yards, probably a lot. I mean, you're gonna blow them out, but it's probably a good confidence builder to have those yards. And look at this, 235 passing yards and 114 rushing yards. I think his average was like 19 per rush. That's pretty impressive. Very, very talented young man. South Alabama versus Auburn. This game was a bit closer than people might suspect, 31-15. Auburn had that big push in the second quarter. And then we got Missouri versus Louisiana. Monroe, Raging Cajun. No, sorry. Louisiana. I don't remember, but Louisiana Raging Cajuns versus Missouri. No talk here for 2-10. What is that? That's disgusting. Sorry that you guys had to see that. That's really, like, why would you put that as an ad? That's gross. Anyways, let's go ahead and check the stats. See what we got. Syracuse dude, number 1. Followed by Baylor dude, Duke dude. So no big top 25 teams here. For rushing, I mean, maybe the Michigan dude, but other than that, not really. Receiving, A&M dude, Tennessee dude, Mississippi dude, Appalachian State, perhaps, Connecticut. Now let's go ahead and check out the rankings. Any changes? Not really too much. Florida State is up 3, so still pushing. Bumps Texas down 1. That makes a lot of sense given how poorly they played. Oregon drops down 2 in favor of Georgia and Miami, and that makes sense given that they both got top 25 wins. Bro, get these ads out of here, man. These ads did not used to be as prevalent in the old ESPN. Anyways, A&M moving up 6 to crack into the top 10 after taking down Notre Dame. Ole Miss up 4, Alabama up 5. Tennessee staying the same despite losing that game. It's their first loss of the year. Utah and Texas Tech up 4. Georgia Tech, I think they should have been ranked all year, but whatever. They are up to number 18 after being not ranked. Vandy up to number 20 after not being ranked. And Notre Dame is still in the top. I knew this would happen. I knew it would happen. Despite being 0-2, I mean, again, against pretty good teams, they have dropped 16, still ranked, though, at 24. And USC cracks the top 25 for the first time this year at number 25. Falling out is South Carolina all the way from 11 down out. This probably makes sense because the North Stellars might be out for a long time. If that is the case, they are going to have a very, very bad year. Clemson from number 12 all the way out, and South Florida from 18 out. Just outside looking in is BYU, Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi State, TCU, Arizona, and Arizona State. But not much changed, to be honest with you. Now let's go ahead and check out what we got coming for next week, week 4. See if we got any big games. Ooh, Texas Tech versus Utah. 2 power hitters in the Big 12 here going up against each other. It's going to be really good, really, probably high scoring and great game. Really excited for that one. UAB for Tennessee after that tough loss. That'd probably be fun for them to just beat the crap out of UAB. So look for Aguilar to really increase his passing yards in this game. Oregon State, another probably disgusting blowout. Blake Murphy, former Texas quarterback, went to Duke last year and led them to a very, very good year. Now transfers to Oregon State. I think he's regretting that decision big time right now. He's going to get his butt whooped. Kent State, as you can see here, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Yeah, he's prone to lapse in adjustment. Anyways, Kent State, Florida State, blowout. Auburn versus Oklahoma. This might be the game of the week, unless there's a high-ranked game. It's going to be a good game. Personally, I think Oklahoma's going to win this game. Not only did that, it's in Oklahoma. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think Oklahoma is going to thrash around Auburn this game. That's my prediction to prove that, hey, last year, first year in SEC, that was a fluke. Now we got a good quarterback. We're here to play. Ole Miss versus Tulane. Tulane is a good, really, really good team. As far as they're not ranked, they've had a lot of success the last couple of years. But they're playing Ole Miss. I mean, I think they might keep it close for a bit, but I think Ole Miss will probably pull away lit. But you never know. This could be potential upset if Ole Miss has a really bad game. Michigan versus Nebraska. Nebraska 3-0 versus with Dylan Raiola. Was number 1 quarterback. Switched the last second from Georgia to Nebraska. I think they could do it. I really do. It's in Nebraska, so I think this will be a close game. And I would not be shocked at all if Nebraska pulls off this upset right here. Purdue and Notre Dame. Notre Dame desperately needs to get a win here. Against Purdue, they're not a good team, but they have been a bad team. They have beat teams like Ohio State before, so you never know. But should be a pretty easy win. Temple versus Georgia Tech. Probably will be another blowout. South Carolina versus Missouri. This will be a big game for South Carolina. Again, if North Stellars is out for the rest of the season, South Carolina will probably get their ass whooped by Missouri, but we'll see. I'm not going to really go look for any information about if he's out for a long time. Maybe next week, if we figure out, I'll let you guys know. But all depends. If North Stellars plays, South Carolina wins. If he doesn't, they lose. That's the simple truth. Florida versus Miami. I mean, it's not out of the equation that Florida can't pull together a huge upset here. but I seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it. Illinois versus Indiana. Decent game. Ranked game here. I couldn't tell you really who's going to win this game, but it's a ranked game. Georgia State versus Vandy. This should be a blowout. Southeastern Louisiana versus LSU. Another blowout. Sam Houston versus Texas should be a blowout. We'll see if Arch Manning actually throws the ball successfully. I mean, it's embarrassing, to tell you the truth. Michigan State 3-0 versus USC. Honestly, I think USC goes down here. I think they get upset by Michigan State. So that's it for next week. Some pretty decent games. Not really any big games, but potential for some upsets here. Anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. As always, subscribe for more content. See you guys next week. This is VC3 signing out.